The DT-770 Pros. This is a strange one. Very strange indeed. But here's the box anyway to get you started. And a fine box it is too. But let's get a little bit more to the point. I have had the 990s. And I've got to tell you, I absolutely hated them. Treble cannons that gave me a headache within about 30 seconds of wearing. I will leave a link to that review. Down, up, left, right, but somewhere you'll find it. I wasn't going to buy these 770s. You know when you always kind of want to try them, but you don't want to spend the money just in case because you've had a bad experience in the past? That's how it was with these. About once a week I'd check the price on Amazon and see if there was any deals, and there wasn't. So I didn't buy for about 3 months, and then my local store had a reconditioned set, which as you can see are basically in mint condition. They were a return. And they were going for €80. So I decided to make a purchase on the basis that I probably wasn't going to like them, and then I was going to simply eBay it off. I don't love treble. I hated the 990s. I like a little bit of bass, as you know, a little bit of bass. So the hopes were not high for this. And I was wrong. I adore these headphones. So much so, in fact, that since I've had them, I haven't worn my 660s. Sacrilege, I hear you say. So why is that? Well, it's a matter of comfort. For one, these, I don't even feel them. Maybe because they were pre-owned, the previous owner may have bedded them in a little. But even so, after a couple of months, my 660s, after a while, and I've bent this, you know, when you push this down and you give them a little bend, and they were more comfortable, but after a couple of days it just gets back, and you know you're wearing them really. You sort of have to make an appointment in your diary, wear the 660s, and you listen to music with them on. Whereas these, throw them on and forget. Just watched Top Gear, Columbia Special, 2-parter, back to back. Forgot they were even on my head. And one of the beautiful parts is the sub-bass rumble that you get from these. When I was watching, say, Top Gear, as you know, it's the Grand Tour, but it's still Top Gear in my heart. When I was watching the Grand Tour, the little bassy moments, you know, great soundtrack, was all just coming through beautifully. How are they to drive? Well, this version is the 80, and it's harder to drive, funnily enough, than the 660s. Well, I say harder, I have to increase the volume a little more on the iFi XDSD. Whether that means to you it's harder to drive or not, but I have to give it a little bit more there. With the X-Bass boost on the XDSD, it's beautiful, but just as much you can go directly into your laptop, directly into the iPhone XS Max. I was up there, so it's doable, but I guess really does just simply depend on how high you like your volume. Now, they aren't as pure as the 660s, but it depends what you want. If you want to listen to classical or pure vocal, I would steer you into the direction of the 660s. But if you just want an all-round put and forget headphone that you can actually enjoy a little bit, then I would steer you towards these, especially for the price. if I had have tried these before the 660s, I don't think I would have brought the 660s. Yeah, I hate to say it, but they have been collecting dust ever since I got these, and for the price, you get so much with these headphones. Yeah, they're a little bit ugly, for want of a better word, but I don't know, there's something about them. They're like two comfy pillows on your head. Now, they're not balanced, my 660s are, and sometimes that lack slightly of the clarity makes the difference. And again, I repeat, vocals, classical, if you're really listening to high def music, maybe the 660s, but really, how often are you sitting down and purely listening for the sake of listening? If that's you, if you get home and you make a point of sitting down for an hour and listening to high def music, 660s. If you get home and just want to chill, I prefer these. They are more, what's the word? They're just more easy to listen to, if that makes sense. You can put them on and you're not trying to find goodness. Maybe it's to do with the price as well. When you pay 460 euros for a pair of headphones, you want and expect them to be good. So you put them on, maybe with a weight of expectation behind them. When you buy a pair of 80 euro headphones, you're not trying to listen for the perfection, and thus the perfection comes to you slightly more. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to make here. For the money, I thoroughly recommend these. 990s, no. I wouldn't even have the 990s if you give them to me, which shows, I guess, on my passion of hate. But these, they are not the treble cannons that the 990s are. They're great. Okay, the cord, it's permanently attached. This is not a good travel headphone, but really neither is the 660s either. If you're going to put Netflix on the 4K screen and you don't want to disturb anyone, I would pick these every day of the week over the 660s. But there's sometimes, I've mentioned this before, I listen to the new Mumford & Sons album, and that was an occasion where I just wanted to sit down and listen to the album. And for that, the 660s were the tool of choice. And that's why, as with everything, there is a tool for the job. Sometimes you need a screwdriver, sometimes you need the hammer, and it just depends on what you're doing. I guess these were my biggest surprise, really. The 660s gave me what I would expect for the price. The 770s gave me more than I would expect for the price. And there's always this point of diminishing returns with headphones. We all know that there's headphones 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds. Are they going to sound that good? Are they going to sound better than these? Some people would say yes, and some people would say no. That's why it's such a fascinating hobby. So let's just see if there's anything to add. With the box here, a picture. If you're going to get these, get the 80s. Really, don't get the 250s. I don't think that you need to. The 80s are a beautiful balance, and that's what really counts with all of this. It's finding the balance, and sometimes it's nice that you can plug these directly in to a smartphone or an iPad, whatever, It is on occasions where you don't want to particularly take your DAC and amp with you. So what's the conclusion on the 770? Biggest surprise of January 2019. Biggest surprise of the first quarter of January, February, March 2019. My best audio purchase for bang for buck. And a hearty recommendation. And, as usual guys, it's been emotional.